Spider-Man Far From Home is once again directed by Jon Watts and stars Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and this is the first film in Spider-Man history to not take place entirely in New York. Peter and his friends go on a school trip overseas and encounter a whole bunch of crazy stuff, including Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. This is an interesting time for Spider-Man fans because we get to see an actor actually take steps towards becoming Spider-Man. He did a lot of small-scale stuff in Homecoming, and in this movie, he has to take a lot of steps towards filling the shoes that Tony Stark has left behind. And after the events of Endgame, Spidey has a lot to do here, and I had a blast watching him figure that shit out. I liked this movie a tad bit more than I liked Homecoming, actually. And I didn't love that film. I thought it was really a good time. It wasn't my favorite Spider-Man movie or anything. I still like the first two Raimi films more, but it was obviously the best since those movies. This film felt more well-realized, smoother, the narrative flowed better. The story was consistently interesting. It rarely ever gave Peter a chance to relax. He was always moving because he's trying to impress MJ and he's trying to be there for his buddies on this trip and just have a relaxing time. But at the same time, Nick Fury's over there like, hey, we got this major problem and we need your help. And so he's having to balance this a lot, which is of course classic Spider-Man, never having enough time for your life priorities, but also having to be this hero when you're not really ready to be. This movie captures that wonderfully, and Tom Holland can play Spidey until he's 50 as far as I'm concerned. Hell, I'll watch a 60-year-old Spider-Man. Let's see what he's got to do. I mean, he'd have a lot of cool shit he'd probably have to do, like, you know, bingo. I don't fucking know. He's so great in this role, and I would love to see him play Spidey for a really long time. I also liked Zendaya as MJ a lot more in this film. I thought the scenes between her and Peter were really cute, and they did a good job at extending that relationship and exploring it more. In many ways, this is still a high school romance movie disguised as a superhero film, but this film does take a few more steps towards being an Avengers movie, especially since Peter has to dig deep within himself and really step up and go against a lot of things in this movie. And I thought they did a better job this time around of balancing the high school comedy aspects with the larger-than-life superhero stuff, because they applied a sort of race against time element to the high school stuff. Peter really wants to confess how he feels to MJ, and so every single chance that he gets, something is always in the way, so it makes those scenes not boring. It doesn't make you like wish for him to just start spinning some webs and fight stuff again. It sort of invests you in those scenes as well. And so there's always something happening, and they play it off with comedy quite often, and it's very, very funny. A lot of the jokes land. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio is something I was really looking forward to. For one, I'm a huge Mysterio fan. I've wanted this character to be in a Spider-Man film for a really long time, and Jake Gyllenhaal is like, he's Jake Gyllenhaal, and I love that guy. So he's also been circling a Spider-Man film for a really long time. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but at one point he almost was Spider-Man. When Tobey Maguire had a back injury when he was filming Seabiscuit, he almost couldn't return for Spider-Man 2, and Jake Gyllenhaal was going to replace him. So it's cool to see him in this universe, and I thought he was really good as Mysterio. I didn't love everything they did with that character, though. We'll talk more about that in another video. It's just that certain aspects of the way they approached it, we could have just used a little more information. That's all I'll say. Jon Watts did a great job with the action scenes this time around. They felt a little more intense than in Homecoming. It seemed like he was more confident this time with this movie because obviously before Homecoming he had never done anything that size, and you can tell that he's taken everything he learned on that film and just applied it to this. There are aspects of this that I definitely think Homecoming did better, and I can't really talk about that here because spoilers. We'll talk about that in the spoiler review. It's unfortunate, but it really, I can't even hint at it. It's just, there's certain things that were better last time. As far as negatives I can get into, there's a sequence leading towards the third act where Peter gets bounced back and forth on a train to this location, and it just felt so quick and rushed, and they tried to mask the fact that it made like zero sense with comedy. Whenever this movie has a plot point that doesn't really work and that feels like they're going out on a limb, they try to make it funny, so you forget about the fact that it doesn't make any goddamn sense. That happens a few times in this movie, actually, and once you start to notice it, it's hard to unsee it. It just keeps happening a lot. But the comedy does work, and it's one of those things where you're enjoying the movie so much that you kind of just roll with it and let it slide. And just like with Homecoming, I could have used a little more action. Just slightly higher stakes. But I'm okay with this being like a more small-scale movie. Of course, obviously. I don't need every movie to be like the universe is going to explode. But just a little bit more stakes, I think, could have helped with some of the more white-knuckle aspects of the film. But in all honesty, I really had a blast with this one. I liked it a little bit more than Homecoming. And this movie does have a scene that I just got so excited. I cannot wait to talk about it in the spoiler video, but this is exactly what happened. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm a very happy person right now. I can't wait to talk about it. Oh man. I'm going to give Spider-Man Far From Home a B+. This was a good sequel. I had a good time with it, and I can't wait to see what else they do with Tom Holland and Spider-Man. I'm really happy that they're taking this character in directions that I love, and there's an aspect of it that feels fresh too, because it's not in New York City, the whole movie, and so it's like there's new stuff to do. I had a good time with this movie. I'm excited for you guys to see it. I do want to give a big thank you, though, to the sponsor for this video, and that is ExpressVPN. VPN helps you protect your credit card information from hackers while you're doing online shopping. Without a VPN, your credit card information is wide open to hackers when you're online shopping. If a hacker discovers your information online, they can spend your money and access your shopping accounts, all because you didn't have ExpressVPN protection. ExpressVPN encrypts your internet data, preventing others from sniffing your information over the network. You can shop online with peace of mind thanks to ExpressVPN. It's very easy to use. You can connect with just one click. ExpressVPN has the fastest speeds, consistently faster than other services, and they have servers in over 94 countries. They have apps for every device: Windows, Mac, Linux, router, iOS, Android, and more. So check out ExpressVPN. It's less than $7 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And something that I like about ExpressVPN is that it allows you to watch shows or movies that are legally streaming on other services in other countries, but maybe they're not available for you yet. So take back your internet privacy today and find out how you can get 3 months for free at expressvpn.com/Chris Stuckmann. That's in the description box below. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. Once again, that's expressvpn.com/Chris Stuckmann. And thank you to you guys for watching. I look forward to hearing what you thought of Spider-Man Far From Home. As always, guys, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmannized.